what we're going to do next in this segment is it's a show that I'm starting to run and I'm testing it out here on the pod. I'm going to call it Fever Dream. Basically, the way it works is you get a fictional character
Okay.
and an ending.
All right. So you want to go first so I can see how this goes?
Yeah, I'll go first. So what I'll do, fictional character first. We draw it out here.
Fictional character is
Martin Luther King Jr. And then cause 9/11. So that's what we're gonna do.
Man, you drew those things out of that cup?
Yeah, look, there's stuff in it. Tell me, there's other stuff in it.
Yeah, there is.
I also wrote them down. So, but anyways, yeah. So, let me take another sip.
It's good stuff. Good stuff.
This is gonna be a story about how Martin Luther King Jr. caused 9/11.
I've never heard this one before.
Now, well, it's gonna be fun. You guys are all familiar with Martin Luther King Jr., a very prolific character in history. You know, he did all sorts of good things. He made
Name one.
yeah, name one. He did a lot of good things. You know, mainly civil rights movement stuff. He was a good.
Oh,
fella.
You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
I mean, if you want to call that good.
Yeah.
But anyways, some say he didn't exist, but I think that he did exist. I think Martin Luther King was a real person. And if there's one thing that Martin Luther King loved more than anything, it was peace. Now, how did he get through that peace? How did he make it happen? We don't know. But what I can tell you is that Martin Luther King, oh boy, did he like Dr. Pepper. My God, did he like Dr. Pepper. Now, he never took a bribe or anything. But people that wanted him to take a bribe, they would send him Dr. Pepper, and he would never be like, I'm not going to do what you're going to do, but I will take that Dr. Pepper, and I will drink the hell out of it. And so what he was doing one time is he was at one of these fraudulent meetings, you know, and a guy wearing, I don't know if he was at the beach or something like that. He had a towel on his head, but I don't know what he was doing. But either way, he was there. I heard this from Martin, so I don't know. But yeah.
It's coming from the horse's mouth.
It's coming from the horse's mouth. This is how he explained it to me. Basically, he's sitting there just kind of sipping down the Dr. Pepper like, my God, this is great stuff. And this guy is talking about this, that, and the other thing. And Martin's not even listening to him. He's just, can I have another Dr. Pepper? Yeah, sure, whatever you want. I'm not going to do this, but man, this Dr. Pepper's good. It's essentially what he's doing. And this whole thing ends, and the guy goes, good, I'm glad we have an understanding. I'm like, okay, cool. About 2-3 weeks later, he's doing his famous I have a dream speech. And this feller sees him on the TV and he goes, hey Martin, what the hell? You know, I thought we were doing this. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about, but do you have another Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
So he gets him another Dr. Pepper. And again, he's like, okay, are we good now? And yeah, sure, whatever. You know, he again didn't listen. That's his fault. Well, poor fella had ended up offending an individual who will not be named.
It rhymes with
Obama. It was Obama. He offended Obama as a child.
It was 100% for sure Obama.
Yes. It was 100% Obama. And basically what happened is this guy gets all mad and gets all his gang of thugs to come by and just basically go up to Martin and say, hey, we're mad at you. But what ended up happening is they shot him. Now, I don't know how this turned out to happen, but I do know it was a very sad day in America's history.
And people threw a Mr. Pibb.
People threw a Mr. Pibb.
Yeah.
And you know, he would be mad at you if you said Mr. Pibb. There's nothing he hates more than Mr. Pibb.
I know.
He's a Dr. Pepper
It just
man.
rhymes with fib.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare
So
you?
they shot him?
They shot him. And then you called him Mr. Pibb? Jesus.
I'm going to have to look this up when I get home.
He loved Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
All right. So they shot this man, or did they? That's what everybody says, but I've never seen the autopsy report. Well,
Didn't they say that Martin Luther King drank like 70% of the like sales of Dr. Pepper in that year?
Yeah.
It's like 70% of it was sold at.
You're 100% right.
Right.
So they didn't really want Martin Luther King out of the marketplace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that obviously kept him alive.
Yeah.
I'm a big Dr. Pepper conspiracy guy. And if you're aware of anything, it's that when you keep a man alive in a vacuum in your basement for a long time, he gets a little jaded. And that's how they kept him alive. They just used all the money. They're like, hey, you want another Dr. Pepper? That's going to be $13. He's like, $13? But yes, I'll take it. So he does this for 40 years.
This sounds like it's backed by Coke money.
No, it's not.
Pepsi?
No,
Sprite.
Dr. Pepper.
Right, but if Martin Luther King was backed by Dr. Pepper,
Yeah.
wouldn't it make sense that Obama
Oh,
was backed by
Obama.
by Sprite?
Let me get through this story, all right? So he's all mad. He's like, these people, they've turned their back on me. Don't they know that I'm still alive? He goes to the one person that he knows, which is this guy. It's now his grandson that really goes to the beach a lot or something like that. They all go to the beach all the time. I don't know. And he basically says, text him through. I don't know how he texts him, but he gets a message to him and basically says, hey, you need to break me out of this Dr. Pepper jail. You also need to get me a Dr. Pepper. And the guy goes, perfect. So he comes up to him and he breaks him out of jail. And he says, Martin Luther, what we need to do is get back at these people. These people have wronged you. We didn't like them from the beginning. You don't like them now. We should come up with a plan. Martin Luther King says, I know what we do. We take all their Dr. Pepper. That'll make them really mad. We put it on an island, which I'll be living on, and that'll be pretty fun. And they go, I think you're just in this for the Dr. Pepper, and that's actually kind of concerning right now. And so basically what ends up happening is he says, okay, we haven't come up with a plan, but I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to go get the Dr. Pepper myself. There's a place in New York City that has lots of it. Now, I know Martin Luther King was a man of many talents. He's a prolific speaker, excellent person, moral character, and but he doesn't have all the skills in the world.
One thing he can't do, fly a plane.
I was getting to that, man. He stole my punchline. I was like, he's not the best pilot. So when he hijacks this plane, he's just kind of like, he's getting that Dr. Pepper addiction, and he's going through, and halfway through he realizes he didn't know how to fly this freaking thing. Well, coincidentally enough, there was another guy flying a plane that also goes to the beach a lot, and he sees him, he passes him, he goes, is that Martin Luther King? What the hell? He turns around and he goes, what are you doing, Martin? What are you doing?
He turned the plane around.
Yeah, he goes,
He was like, I know that guy. Hold
Yeah.
on, let me flip a fucking bitch real quick.
And Martin's just out there. He's just driving. And he's like, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I'm a trained pilot from Arabia or wherever the fuck it is. And basically, he gets on the radio. He goes, Martin, what the hell are you doing? Now, at this point, two other people, we go to the beach a lot, see it, and they're all falling around. They're like, we got to save Martin right now.
Yeah.
Well, Martin's still, he's like halfway like Dr. Pepper. He's halfway like, I need to save my life, yada, yada. But at the same time, he said he was in a cryo chamber in someone's basement for 40 years. He's okay with dying right
Thankfully, there was two more people in Martin's plane that also go to the beach.
now. Yes.
So they're able to.
Wow. What a
Were they
coincidence.
able to step in and kind of help him try to salvage?
That's exactly what happened. They
Okay.
got a phone call while in the air, and they were like, "You've got to save Martin."
Yeah.
And so they go into the cockpit. They go, "Martin, that's not how you fly a plane." And he's like, "No, I got it." So they're fighting over the controllers, and this all happens to take place right near the Twin Towers. And then,
That's unfortunate.
you know what happened next?
I do not.
Well, they
Where can I look it up?
anywhere. They crashed into the Twin Towers.
Ooh, that's not good.
Now, if you've heard of 9/11 conspiracies, you might think that planes took it down. And planes did hit the buildings.
Yeah.
We all know that. But what caused the building to fall?
Dr. Pepper.
Not Dr. Pepper. No. You see, well, they were part of it because, you see, they're lobbying at the government. And they said, hey, the tracker we put in Martin Luther King is pinging that he's in the building. That doesn't make any sense. And the government goes, well, we can't have our beloved hero Martin Luther King look like he just did 9/11.
Not after we named all these streets after him.
Exactly. I mean, that's too much work.
Yeah.
And so they had a guy go in there while the building was still on fire, real fast, real Mexican-like worker. He's quick,
Yeah.
and put up a bunch of bombs and blow it up. And then they just happened to use the other guys as scapegoats.
Yeah. And all they wanted to do was go to the beach.
Yeah, exactly. These were beach guys.
Yeah.
And basically, that's how Martin Luther King caused 9/11.